It is by my hand you will rise from the ashes of this world.
It's coming. Get ready. Yes. Yes. My friends, become addicted to water. It will take hold of you, and you will resent its absence.
That's the book of 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And we are indeed continuing to see who that wicked is, man. It's becoming clearer and clearer for the ones that don't know to see that these devils have got to be stopped, man. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutations, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutations to my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. And I'll prepare that this lesson be edifying to the elect. So, as we get closer and closer to the end of Esau's rulership, Esau, the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man, the Lord is having them be revealed more and more every day, man. Let's get that. There's Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Right? Esau is in the scriptures known as a fugitive and a vagabond, man. These devils have been hiding from their true nationality, but it's being revealed through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, through his men that are out there sighing and crying, out there on the highways and byways, bringing it all out, man. Bringing all this evidence up against him, before his judgment, man. It says, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not, man. So these devils are being revealed, man. They have been revealed. And it's only going to continue to the point where they have to come down with great wrath. Excuse me, because they know that they have but a short time. There's talks about, controlling the internet, shutting down the internet, and different things of that nature, because the internet is revealing them, man. Everything that they do is being exposed, man. So they got to get rid of it in order to try to control the narrative, man. And this piece of shit fucking Billy Gates of hell nigga always comes up, man. The Lord got a special judgment for this fucking asshole. So this is from the People's Voice. It says, Billy Gates of hell quietly seizes total control of U.S. water supply. So I'm going to read a little bit of this and get some scriptures and I asked ChatGPT a question, and I got a question from a answer from Google too that I want to bring out. Just highlighting what these devils are up to, man, or the severity, I'll say it that way, of what they're doing. It says, while you were locked down, masked up, and lining up for your next jump shot, the world's most powerful elites were busy rewriting the rules of private ownership. The WEF told us bugs were the food of the future, and while masses choked on cricket powder, Billy Gates of Hell quietly became the largest private farm owner in Babylon. The headlines came and went. Billionaires buy land. Strange maybe, but who really paid attention? And why would a man who admits he hates nature and who publicly champions synthetic meat, vertical farming, and lab-grown everything buy land he has no intention of farming? We had already heard about this, but I guess, what's coming out is that it was for a different purpose. Because according to insiders, it was never about the crops, it was about what lies beneath. Vast aquifers, ancient water tables, untapped reservoirs, now under the control of one man and one agenda. If you thought food shortages were the end game, you underestimated their evil. Because control the water and you control life. And what they plan to do with that control, that's where the story really begins. Billy Gates is quietly joining forces with BlackRock and his longtime ally, Peter Brabeck Letmeth, or whatever devil's name is, who cares? The former Nestle CEO who once said water should not be a human right. Together they are executing a strategic takeover of America's most critical resource, the water supply. Now let's get a look at this devil. So this is this devil right here. Look at this motherfucker, man. He was a former CEO. Water is not a human right. Remember this next time when you want to buy a Nestle product again, right? So this is who Billy Gates of Hell is teaming up with. This demon right here. Then somebody had this up here, which is an opening clip, man. He made that statement, and he thought about Immortal Joe, man. Holding out water from all those people, and basically saying that don't rely on water, blah blah blah, is BS. So let's see what would happen. Before I continue reading, I asked ChatGPT, what would happen to America if the water supply was cut off? It says, if America's water supply were suddenly cut off, the consequences would be immediate, widespread, and catastrophic. Water is foundational to every part of modern life, so losing it would disrupt health, food, infrastructure, the economy, and social order. Here's what would likely happen step by step. The immediate impact within hours to days. Drinking water scarcity. People would turn to bottled water and remaining reserves, which would be rapidly depleted. Hospitals and emergency services would struggle without water for sanitation, medical procedures, and cooling systems. Sanitation crisis. Toilets wouldn't flush, hand washing would stop, and hygiene would collapse, leading to rapid spread of disease. Panic and unrest, hoarding, price gouging, looting, and civil unrest would likely begin within major cities. So that's within hours to days. It says short-term collapse, days to weeks. Food system breakdown. Crops die without irrigation. Livestock perish or are cold due to thirst or lack of clean water. Food processing and safety systems which depend on water fail. Power failures. Power plants, especially nuclear, hydro, and some fossil fuel stations need water for cooling. Many would shut down. Economic standstill. Manufacturing, tech, and service sectors would grind to a halt due to water dependency and lack of worker capacity. Mass migration. People would flee cities and affected regions, overwhelming any areas with remaining water. So this, I mean, devastating. Devastating effects. Medium to long term consequences, weeks to months. Public health catastrophe. Widespread outbreaks of waterborne disease, cholera, dysentery, dehydration, and heat related deaths. Breakdown of social order and martial law might be declared. Government institutions may fail in parts of the country. Agricultural collapse. America's food system would be decimated, likely causing global food price spikes and famine in dependent nations. International implications. Other countries might intervene diplomatically or militarily, especially if the U.S. collapse threatens global stability. I mean, so something like that would be devastating, to Babylon, you know, and that could very well be their plan, you know. This is Proverbs 4:16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence, man. And that's who these people are, man. They can't help but do wickedness, man. It's all they fucking do. It's evil, because that's what they were created to do. As the scriptures say, can a leopard change his spots? Matter of fact, let me grab it. Jeremiah 13:23. Can an Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Right? And the answer is no. Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Right? So these people are accustomed to do evil. They were created to be the wicked, man. That's all they do all day, every day is evil. Let's see. It says, and now Gates is more cunning, right? They're more cunning than any beast of the field, right? Esau is a cunning hunter, right? That's how we identify these devils, through the spirit, through their actions, through history, who they are, man. And they're parading themselves as some kind of righteous people, but they're the wicked that the Bible speaks of, man. And that's why Yahawashi got to come and destroy these goddamn devils, man. Because unless the days were shortened, there will be no flesh left to be saved, man. These goddamn devils are just fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just hell-bent on destroying, man. They can't, if the scriptures say if they do right, they do it unwillingly, man. They can't do right. All they know is death and destruction, man. The harbingers of death is what they are, man. The border of wickedness, as it says in Malachi, the first chapter. It says, and now Gates is more cunning, more calculated. The media and judiciary has been bought off, and he's applying that same monopolist playbook to the one resource none of us can survive without: water, right? And I just did a quick Google search. How long can you live without water? A person can typically survive for about 3 to 4 days without water, but it can vary based on individual factors and environmental conditions. Some individuals may survive slightly longer, but without water, dehydration can lead to serious health issues and death, man. So you're only lasting for a couple of days without water, man. So for them to control that, and hold it hostage, so to speak, would be detrimental, man, to any city, any country, any state. That would completely bring the people to their knees, man. And that's what, they plan to do. It says, by cornering the market, Gates and his globalist colleagues are positioning themselves as the gatekeepers of survival. This isn't just about profit, it's about control at the most fundamental level. When you control the food, you control the people, but when you control the water, you control life itself, right? And that's what it's all about with these devils, man. They're trying to be as God, man, as it talks about in Isaiah, the 14th chapter. Let me see. Yep, 13th verse. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation and the sides of the north. And that's what these devils do. They're exalting themselves as if they're God. When they're the bases of men, the lowest of the low. A goddamn Prius with no sunroof, cloth seats, hubcaps. That's what they are. The lowest of the low, man. The base, the simple, bare necessities to make them be called a person, man. That's what they are. But yet they walk around with this pompous attitude, as if they're something special, man. But Bahasham Yahawashi is going to show them that they ain't shit very soon. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's what they say, man. It says, yet, the Lord said, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And that's what's about to happen to these damn devils, man. They're gonna be shown that they ain't shit very soon, man. This is Psalms 38:12. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things and imagine deceits all the day long. And that's all these devils do. They're just hell-bent on destroying. That's all this fucking asshole and his cronies do all the day long. All the day long. And that's why they're going to be the first fruits of fucking slavery, man. Rightfully so, man. This devil needs to be kicked in his face for breakfast every fucking morning, man. His teeth knocked out every fucking morning, man. Fucking, this nigga, man, I swear. So, let me see. But, and that's why, it's so important for us, sincere brothers and sisters, to seek the Lord while he is near, to call upon him while he's nigh, man. And ask for that hedge of protection in these times, man, because these devils are coming with it, man. And if we don't have Yahawashi on your side, you're through out here, man. We can't fight against this devil without the Lord. The Lord gave the earth into his hands, so we have no might. The scriptures speak about Jacob as a worm, man. A worm is a defenseless creature, man. Everything eats a worm. Fish, birds, ants, people in certain countries. They can't do nothing. So that's this position that we're in, man. But we, sincere brothers and sisters, we have Yahawashi on our sides, man. We have a powerful army that is stronger than anything in this universe, man. On our side. There be more with us than with them, as the scriptures say, man. And that's why we're no longer going to stay upon him that smote us, man. We're not going to be leaning on, depending on no fucking cracker like this goddamn devil right here, man. This piece of shit, goofball ass nigga right here, man. We ain't going to be worried about these goddamn people, man. Fuck them and everything they stand for. We're going to stay upon the Holy One of Israel, man. Yahawashi, man. We're going to trust in our power, man. These people, we would trust in this person that's been trying to destroy you the whole time. What sense does that make? Who will pity a charmer that's bit by a serpent, man? You want to entertain this damn devil and he bites you, then that's on you. You were warned, man. There will be no cloak for your sins if you and you hear this word for you Israelites out there, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You trust in this devil after you were warned that he's a goddamn devil, and he shows you that he's a devil. Well, that's on you. That's on you. You got the warning. You were told to stay away, never trust thine enemy, as the scriptures say. But you want to go down there and trust in Egypt and trust in oppression, and you get fucking oppressed, and the devil rolls on your ass. You ain't got no covering, man, because you chose your side. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, jealous powers, man. You ain't gonna sit there and trust in them. Oh, I'm sorry, Lord, could you please take? No, man. The line is being drawn in the sand, man, and there's not a lot of time left, man. The prophets of the Lord are going to be off the streets soon come, man. And these devils aren't slowing down. They can't, because they know their time is short, man. So they're going to keep on, it's going to keep ramping up. They're talking about, this Agenda 2030. That's only 5 years from now, 4.5 years from now. So that means they got to be doing these different things in order to get to that point. They want to have everything done by then. So that means they got to do things now to push towards that, which they're not gonna achieve their enterprise, as the scriptures say. The Lord's gonna throw a monkey wrench in that bullshit ass NWO that they are pushing for. But they're going for it though, and part of this is all part of it, man. Controlling all the resources, controlling the minds of the people, blinding the people with, keeping them occupied with bread and circus, keeping them heavily medicated, all this weed and drugs and all that, man, so that they can continue to push towards their goal. And a lot of people are going to fall victim to it, man. But the elect are going to be protected, man. The elect will be good in those days. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore thus saith the Lord, power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Right? The Lord said, my servant shall eat and shall drink. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed, man. Behold, my servant shall sing for the joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Right? So the Lord's servants are going to be straight, man. And I hope and pray, and that I'm part of that number, me and my family, and you sincere brothers and sisters in y'all's households as well, man, that we're part of that precious number, man, because it's about to get ugly out here, for real, very soon. And if these devils, start, rationing out water, and when the MOTB comes, the only thing you're going to have, the only thing we have now is Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi are the ones that are keeping us going in our day-to-day, man. Because if it was up to these devils, man, they'll destroy everything, man. And that's what they're trying to do. Remember the Georgia Guidestones, man. They want to have maintain humanity under 500 million. There's billions of people on this planet. That means that a lot of deletion has to happen in order for them to achieve that. And that's what these devils are all about. Murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. That's what this devil is all about, man. And that's why Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi are going to come and bring destruction to these goddamn devils, man. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to report on that. These devils ain't stopping, until the Lord stops them, man. But, us sincere brothers and sisters, we got to continue to watch as well as pray, and continue to fight that good fight of faith, continue to run that race. You brothers, hold fast that no man take thy crown, man. Hold on tight, man. Hold on. Keep pushing. I'm speaking to myself as well, man. We got to keep pushing. Beloved Akim. So, I hope and pray this lesson was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to thank Bahasham, Yahawashi once again for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out to listen and learning. Fighting is good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. We're almost out of this bitch. And salutation to my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. I want to say a Baba Ball, a Bad Esau Edom, and Kwam Yasharallah. Hey, shalom. To the next one.